Hello, hello, hello. As is our custom, if you are in the chat, please let me know by giving a thumbs up or writing in the chat that I am here so that I know at least one person is in the session and then I will get started. All right. And if I don't hear from anyone, maybe like after 5 minutes, I'll just start. Okay. Because we are on for an hour, 15 minutes today. And I want to maximize the whole time. So if you are on, please let me know by sending me a thumbs up or saying something in the chat and we can get started. All right. Let's see. I'm looking. Okay. Oh, no. I didn't mean to do that. Oh, no. Okay. I was trying to. Okay. All right. I'm checking. Aha. Chidi. Thank you, dear. Okay. So let's get started. Okay. So from yesterday, we stopped at David. Okay, dear. Thank you. We stopped at I think number 11. So I took time and kind of looked through the rest of, what we have to cover. We're not going to cover everything. And the reason I say that is because some of these questions were repetitive or some of them were using some concepts that we've already covered. So I'm just going to go through and not waste too much time on the questions so that we can get far. But like I said, if there's anything that is confusing or you want me to cover specifically, just put it in the chat, okay? And I will read from there. Okay, so number 11 says, write a script that counts the number of directories and subdirectories in the current directory. Okay, that is so where you are standing, right? And it counts it. So if I look in my current directory, I only have one directory, and that directory does not have any directories in it. It only has a file. It doesn't have directories. So in my mind, the way I will look at this is, okay, first of all, I have to identify directories, okay? And then I have to count them. So I need a command that helps me to locate directories. And then when I've located those directories, I need to probably pipe it into another command that will count what I pipe in. It will count the lines, right? Okay, so we already know of the find command. And so if we say find and then where we are, so find and then you have to put the location to look at, which is one single dot for where we are. And then we know we have this type flag, which tells the find command, look for this type of entity or this type of this type of item. So we have type of D. So that D stands for directory. I had sent a link yesterday. I found a resource online that I thought was pretty comprehensive, describing all the different flags and all the different options that you can use with find command. Because like I said yesterday, find command is extremely powerful. And thank God for internet. You don't have to memorize these things. What you need is just where to locate the information. Okay. All right. So if we say find and then type D, okay. So this tells us that we have one. It gives us like where we are, because where we are is actually a directory, Dot where we are standing is also a directory, okay? So it gives us where we are and then it gives us the single directory that we're expecting, okay? Now, this is the part that I'm not so clear how. So let me just try something. Like I said, I don't do this regularly, so I'm sort of casting my mind back many years. I believe that this WC-L, I believe, is how we count whatever we pass into this command. Let me just see what happened. Okay, we get 2. So there's a way that you have to modify this first command to exclude the current directory, right? So if you see, one thing about programming, okay, is you have to practice thinking about what needs to happen. I think a lot of times new programmers get they burden themselves with knowing the command. Like, that's what we think we need to be able to do, is I need to know the command immediately once I see the problem. That's actually not true. What you need to do at the beginning is to understand what needs to happen. And if you can describe what needs to happen in English, that is in plain language, you can search for the commands online. Okay? So like in this situation now, I already don't know how to exclude my present directory from this command, this find type D. So I would look that up on the internet and modify this command so that I don't get back this dot. I only get back the subdirectory where I am. And then I know that once I have that, then I can pipe it into WC-L and it will give me the count. Okay? I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. We already know that the find command is recursive. So let me show you what that means. So I'm going to make a directory inside the JS1, and I'm going to call it sub directory. Okay, so if I ls, I didn't create it where I am, so we still have what we should have. But if I ls that JS1, we should see now the subdirectory that I created. So if I go back now and I run that find command of type D, you see how it has given me the subdirectory, because find command by default is recursive. It will start from where you tell it to start, and it will keep going into the tree, the subfolders, and it will keep going until it gets to the end according to what you told it to search for. It's recursive. So as long as you find out online how to exclude the present directory from your search, you don't have to worry about whether it will pick up all the subdirectories, because find is by default recursive. Okay, and then when you figure that part out, then you pipe it into the WC-L. I believe this stands for, you can look it up online. That's why I don't keep these things in my head. I think this is word count or something count and then line. I think this is, but I might be wrong. Okay, all right. So part of what makes you a competent programmer is being able to break down a problem in plain language first, to understand what needs to happen. The commands that you will use are searchable. They are all on the internet. It's not something you have to memorize. Okay, so that's what you practice. That's what actually makes you a competent programmer. All right. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, David said if we have more than one directory. I think I answered that. I think I answered that. That is if you're talking about you have subdirectories inside. Find command is recursive. Recursive just means it will keep, that is the action that it took on a directory. It will look inside that directory to see if there's another directory to take the same action. Okay, recursion is a programming concept. All right. Okay. So this one says, create a script that displays the 10 newest files in the current directory, the 10 newest files. Okay, so we already know once you see that 10 newest, that should clue you in that, okay, I'm going to be using head. Head command comes in somewhere, because head allows you to take the first number of lines, right, in an output. Okay. Okay, like in the same current directory. Yes, oh, that's fine. Okay, I understand what you're asking, David. So let me create another directory. So let me create JS2. Okay, so now I have two directories. Okay, and one of them has its own subdirectory. So if I run that same find command, type D, it's going to give you every directory. You see it here. It's just that in my case, it's including the current directory, which I say you need to look up. But you can see it is counting JS2. So the find command, it will start where you are standing and it will locate all the directories where you are standing before now going one level deep to see if there's directory in there. Okay? Okay. So coming to this script that displays 10 newest lines. So we already know that we're probably going to need head command, right? We saw that yesterday. But it says the newest files. So I can list my files, okay? I can list my files, or I can list my content, okay, where I'm standing. I can list my content, but it said files. It didn't say directories. So there's probably a flag that I can add to my ls command. So that's what you will now go on Google. So, you say it in English. There needs to be a way to only list directories. You see how I said it? I need to find a command that only lists directories. That is what you can now search on Google. Shell command or bash command that only lists directories, and Google will give it to you. Okay, so these are not things that you have to cram. These are not things that you have to cram. What you need to practice is understanding the requirements and expressing it in plain language. Okay, so I think from what I remember, I think if you add D, okay, so that is listing the current directory. Okay, so this is something I will have to look up online to see, okay, how do I only list directories? Or how do I only list files? Sorry. So if I say ls-lt, okay, that doesn't seem to do it. So we just have to look for what the flag is. Okay, what is that flag? This L flag is giving it in long format. If you just say ls, it will give it only the name. It only give you the name of what is inside. But when you say the ls-l, that gives you long format listing, which is giving you the permissions, is giving you, I think this is size, is giving you the that is the user owner, is giving you the group owner. So this Aritamana belongs to group staff. I don't know what this one is. And then it's giving you the date that it was created or modified. The date it was modified, yes, because you can see, even though I created JS1 yesterday, but you see it's giving us today's date because I modified it today. And then I think it also gives you the time of modification. Okay, so the long format just gives you more information. Yes. So you just have to look for what flag, what will I add to this -L to give me only files, not directory. Okay, and so when you've done that, then it says display the 10 newest. So newest means now you have to sort it according to time. Okay, I think that's what this T was time. Okay, so you see it when I put the T in the command, it now puts, you see this IACTA is now at the bottom because it was yesterday. Okay, so it has now sorted the content by time, but I'm still including directory, so I need to add a flag that will only give me file. So once you have now sorted it by time, newest time, you now run your head command -N10, and it gives you the top 10. Okay, so like I don't have the command here, but for example, it would be ls-l T, and then whatever will give me only files, and then I would pipe it into head dash N10. Okay, and that will give you the first 10 of the files listed in order of newness that you did. Okay, so that's how you do that one, right? Okay. uh you see how maybe some of you will say, oh, I wish Arit will actually search on Google and find what she's missing and show us. But I'm trying to train you to, disconnect yourself from answer, answer, answer. It's not answer, it's process. Okay. I like to teach process. I don't teach answer. I don't teach answer. What's the answer? What's the answer? No, I don't teach answer, because answer is like spoon feeding you. Process is giving you the spoon and teaching you how to use it to feed yourself. Okay? So I teach process, I don't teach answer. So I don't feel uncomfortable that I don't know the flag to show you how to only locate file, because I know that that information is present on internet. So it's available to everybody. But I'm teaching you the thought process, the thinking process behind it. Okay? That is the work of a programmer, not actually writing the program. Because if you see a program online, you can copy and paste it and you would have written a program. Okay? So the job of a programmer is that thinking process, is that problem breakdown process. That's your actual job, not the code itself. Okay? All right. So let's continue. So number 13, it says create a script that takes a list of words as input and prints only words that appear exactly once. Okay. This is interesting. Okay. And they actually have like a list of words here. So I'm actually going to try and do this one. Keyword try. Because I think it can teach us a number of things, and I want you to watch the process. Okay. So let me open a file called list, and I'm going to paste the list of words that I took from the question. Okay, and I'm going to save that. So if I cut list, we should see those words. Okay, so when we look at the question says that we need to print only the words that appear once. Okay, so that means if a word appears more than once, it is rejected from our final list. Okay, so let me say it another way. Another way of saying that is we need to locate unique words. So what does that word unique mean? Unique means only one of its kind. Okay? Only one of its kind. If something is unique, it means it's only one of its kind or of its type. So if I say I am locating only unique words, then that tells me that word only occurs once, which is what the script calls for. Okay? So let's do that together. All right. So I'm going to say, how should I search for this? Okay, I'm going to say bash only unique words. Okay, so I have a number of, links that have come back. Okay, so one thing that I do when I'm looking at links is I try to find more recent links. So on Google, it tells you like the dates, right? I try to find more recent links. And the reason for that is the more, especially when it comes to programming, the more recent a link is, the more likely that the answer is maybe in the language, like the version, that you're using. But that doesn't mean that other links cannot be helpful. But I do tend to at least check more recent links first. Okay. So this one is 2017. That's like 5 years ago. Wow, that's a long time. Okay, so let's look and see. It says display unique words, right? So I scroll down. Okay. So I'm reading, it says, I'm having a file with duplicate words. How can I eliminate them? Okay. So this is what he says he has: ant, bat, cat. Okay. So he is expecting the output as ant. Okay, so this is not really what we need, because he's saying ant is here. We don't want bat because bat occurs twice. Okay, so it's not looking like this is what we need. Okay. Uh okay. Okay, let's look at something else. How can I display unique words contained? Many people ask me, "Oh, Arit, what do you do at your job?" This is what I do. This is what I do. I have a string that has duplicate words. I would like to display only the unique words. The string is this. I know several tools that can do this together. What is a more effective way of doing it? Okay. Uh, okay. So over here, they said echo variable, which is what they have here. And then they passed it through. They are, okay, they are okay. So this, what they are doing here is they are putting all of this on a new line. Okay, they are putting all these words on a new line. That's what this is doing. And then they pipe that through. Okay, so now we wouldn't have to do this because all our own words are already on their own line. Okay, the reason they did that was because all their words are in one string. They're all on one line. Okay, then they say sort dash u, and then they do another transformation. Okay, so this is now looking like, I'm looking at this like, okay, this might work. Abi? Okay, so sort dash u. Okay, so let's go back to our, okay. So if I cut our list, so this is our whole list here. Okay, all right. So why don't let me pipe that through that sort dash u. And I'm guessing, I haven't looked it up. You can look up flags. You can look up what dash u means in the sort command. But I'm guessing that dash u means unique. Okay. So if I cut list and I pipe it through sort dash u. Okay. So we see here that we are getting, it's not quite giving us what we want. The reason is because I know JavaScript appears more than once. Okay, so JavaScript, if we cut that list again, I saw JavaScript more than once. You see it. You see it. Aha. So I know that JavaScript cannot be there, right? So I now have to think about, maybe there's a way to count how often the words appear and then take only the words that their count is 1. Okay? So what do I mean by that? I need a way to count each word in this list. So C#, I need to count how many times C# appears. And then after I do that count, I need now to, look at those counts and choose only the words that their count is number 1. Okay, so that is a lot. Some of you have solved this already, so let me look. You see, I'm showing you process. I didn't look at this before, so I'm showing you process. But because of time, let me look at one of the solutions that one of you solved. Okay, but I wanted to show you my process. Okay, so so I'm seeing here that there's another command that is actually unique. there's dash u, and then there is unique command. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so if I say cat list, that cat just means to display it for us. Okay, and I pipe it through unique. Okay, so hold on, sorry, unique dash u. Okay, this again, for me, it's giving me, you see this Python, you see this JavaScript, it's not, that question said it needs to be words that only appear once. And I know for a fact that JavaScript appears more than once. Now, I could keep spinning my wheels. I'm not going to do that. I've broken it down in English. Okay, I've broken it down in English. We need to count the number of times that each word appears. Okay, so I need to find a command that will count the number of times that each word appears. And then I need to look at that list and only choose the words that their count is 1. Okay, I'm not going to go through that now because of time. I want us to get through as many questions as we can. This is something that I can work on if I see time. I can work on later and I can post in the Slack. All right? But this thing is process. This thing is process. Thinking and understanding what the question is actually asking for. Okay? All right. Let's move on to number 14. It says, display lines containing the pattern root, okay, from the file etc password. Okay. These are interesting. For beginners, this is not beginner. Anyway, display lines containing the pattern root from the file etc password. So this is like, this is not find. This is like a searching each entry and looking for a particular word, right? I don't remember how to do this in Bash. I do not remember. Okay. If I was looking for something. Okay. So let's cut etc password and see what we have. Okay. So we cut etc password and we see we have all these entries, okay, of the passwords, of course, encrypted for users. So what it's saying is that it wants us to go through all these lines and only, like for example here, it only wants us to return the lines that have root, the word root inside. Okay, this one is another one. You see, this one has root inside. Okay, so maybe, your boss told you, oh, I want the etc password records for all root accounts. Acquire this. Okay, now there is a command in Bash called grep command, and grep, I've forgotten what it stands for. It stands for something. GREP. I've forgotten. But grep is basically like a way of filtering content according to some criteria that you give it. Okay, so let me show you. So if I say cat list and I pass it, I grep. Okay, so my pipe is my filter. Okay, and I grep for the word root. Okay, so that grep root means only give me the records or the lines that root appears in it. That's what that grep means. Okay. Oh, not list, sorry. Etc password. Sorry. Maybe some of you corrected me already. Thank you. Okay, so cat etc password, that will give us everything in etc password, but I want to pipe it through grep root. That grep root is looking for the word root in each line, and if it finds it, it will return it. If it doesn't find it, it will reject it. Okay, so if I say enter, so now we have the first one, we see root here and we see root here. The second line, root is here. The third line, root is part of the word. CVMS root. Okay, and then we have root here as well. I think there's a flag you can pass if you want it to be case sensitive. So I think grep by default is case insensitive. What that means is it will match either lowercase or uppercase letter. Okay. So it's possible it match this letter or maybe not this one. If I put, hold on, let me put quotation around the root so that it takes it like one word. Okay, it's probably matching this one here. Okay, not the root here, probably not, because this is part of a word, but it's probably matching this one here because it's case insensitive. Okay, all right, so that was that question. Okay, number 15 says count that word. Okay, display number of lines that contain the pattern bin in the file etc password. Okay, so this is counting now. Okay, so it says, first of all, we want to see what is in etc password. Then we want to save only the lines that have the word bin. Then after we get those lines with bin, we want to count them. You see how you're breaking it down? When you break it down, you can now search for the command, or at least you have an idea of what the command needs to do. Okay, so please commit yourself to that process of breaking down the problem, understanding in plain English what needs to happen. Okay, so we cut etc password and we get everything. Now we know that we have our grep command. So we cut etc password, we pass it through grep bin. Okay, let me put that in quote. So grep bin. Okay, so now we are getting a lot, but we can search and see bin is here, bin is here, bin. So it's a lot of lines that have that word bin. Okay, you can just do a quick So now we have all the line with bin. Now we have to count it because it asked for the number of lines that display bin. So we go back to our original command and we pipe it again. You can pipe multiple times. Piping is like a sieve. You are just sieving. It's like, I don't know how to say it. Like maybe your first sieve is very big hole. So almost anything can pass. Maybe you are filtering for big pieces of wood, in your gari. Then after that first that first level, you now have a sieve with smaller holes. That one is now sieving for stones that is smaller than wood. So you can pipe multiple things as long as you understand what is making it to each pipe. Okay, so we pipe now and we pipe it into our count function, and that gives us 110 lines, I believe. That sounds like a lot, doesn't it? Sometimes if something doesn't make sense, just check. Okay, that's a lot of lines. Okay, just scrolling through the output, I see it's a lot of lines. So even though I didn't count it manually, but that 110 makes more sense. You understand? Okay, all right. Okay, let's continue. Okay, it says, I'm not seeing any questions, so I'm guessing everybody is following along. Just be asking your questions, if you have. Okay, it says what's next? Number 16. Number 16 says display lines containing the pattern root and 3 lines after them. Hell. Okay. Display lines containing the pattern root and 3 lines after them in the file etc password. Sorry, I'm thinking. The video is not frozen. I'm thinking. Display lines containing the pattern root and 3 lines after them. That's interesting. Okay, so cat etc password. This is etc password, everything. Okay, this is everything. So if I displayed only the lines containing root, that would be these lines. But now it's asking for the 3 lines after, I guess, this last line is what I'm thinking. So in plain English, I would need a way, I would need a way to know where this line is in the file, so that maybe I can use, I'm just thinking out loud here, maybe I can use head and tail to grab the next three after this line and then append it to this answer. That's what I'm thinking out loud. Okay, let me see. That's what I'm thinking out loud that I would need to do. Let me see what somebody did. Okay. You see? So that's the thing with understanding, because then you can Google. So let me try and Google that. I mean, I've seen how somebody did it here. Okay? But let me see if I can Google my way there. Okay? Because again, I teach process, I don't teach answer. Okay? So I can search for this, I'm going to say bash. Then I can say display lines after, like you see, Google is completing it for me. Bash print lines after match. Bash print lines after number, after string. After match makes sense because I'm using grep to match the line that have roots inside. Okay, so let's see what it tells me. Okay, so I'm having 2015, I have 2013 here, I have 2015. Okay, let's go with 2015. That's okay. So I look and I see the question, how to print all lines after a match up to the end of the file. Okay, so okay, it says this is the input. I give the match the pattern. Okay. Okay, let's see. Okay, so this is one answer. I could try it. Okay, I'm just scrolling through. It's using sed is another very powerful. That's a powerful command. That's that sed is very powerful. Somebody is, using a whole lot of, I saw one of the answer there was after context. I wanted to see if I can bring it up from searching. So assuming I didn't have that answer, I would probably go in and try one of these. You just try what other people have suggested. You read through and you try what other people have suggested. That's part of the process of programming, right? Okay, let's see what we have here. I have a file that contains list of URLs. Okay, I want to get all the records after Yahoo. Okay, so after Yahoo, it wants to get, okay, all right. I know that I could use grep to find the line number, okay, but I don't know how to get the file after number. Okay, so they are telling you, okay, thank you, David, where you are told not to use sed. Okay, so that lets you know that you just have to find, see, this person says you can use awk. Awk is another powerful, sed is powerful, awk is powerful. They said sed here. Okay, some other people are still using sed. So you could try the awk. Since you say you can't use sed, you can try the awk. Okay. I'm just showing you process of, looking through, everyone's just putting everything here. Okay, so let me show you what somebody used, which is the after context. Okay. All right. So you would grep your root and then after, oh, you know how to use awk. Wow. Okay. So they really cut you off at the knees, like they say. Okay, after context 3. Okay, 3 lines after context. So that after context, I'm sure means after the output of your former command, print the next 3 lines. Okay. So let's see what we have going on here. Oh, okay. So see what it's doing. It's actually executing this after context after each of my is after each of my, and I think it's because of the way I have it here, is after each. So in other words, it's printing the 3 lines after each of my root lines. Okay, that's what it's doing. Okay, so I will have to say it another. I think you can use grep itself. So you can say grep root etc password, and then I can put my after context equals 3. Let's see how that goes. Okay, so I have root here, good. I have root here, good. I don't have any root here. Oh, you see what it did? This is weird. I think the way I said it in plain English is the way I would do this. I would grab let me just take you through it again. When I grab my lines with roots, I would grab this last line and then I would search for it in the file, and then I would use head tail to then grab the next 3 after it, and then I would append it. That's how I would do it. This thing takes time because I've not done it beforehand. So I don't want to burn 30 minutes showing you how to, to me, that's not a good use of time. Mm-hmm. So let's just keep going through. Okay, let's keep going through. And, I think this discussion that we're having is helpful because process is really where it is. Okay. All right, let's continue. 17. I hate bins. Display all the lines in etc password that do not contain a pattern. Okay, so we know that we have grep, but is there a way to do like a reverse grep? That's what I'm thinking. I don't know the answer. Okay, so I'm just going to say reverse. Google, see, it gave it to me and say reverse grep. Technology. Okay. Okay, so I'm seeing something here, 2011, but okay. How to invert a grep expression. Okay. So, so this person says, the following grep expression successfully lists all the exe and HTML files in the current directory and subdirectories. Okay, it now says, how do I invert this result to list those that aren't HTML or exe? Okay, and the accepted answer here says, use command line option -v or invert match. So if you see if you see their first command has the grep, -e, okay. But here we see that they've added a -v. Okay, so let's try that. I don't know. Okay, so all the files that do not contain the pattern bin. Okay, so we'll cut our etc password, okay, and then we will grep. Normally would have grep bin, but we are going to say grep -v. That's what I'm thinking will work. What happened? What happened? I don't know. Hey, this is cat etc password now. So what happened? I didn't use it correctly. Let's see. If I grep bin, that's giving me all of bin. Okay. But I want the inverse. Maybe that's not correct. Okay, let me look again. So let me say bash return what is not grep. I think what we searched for was correct. To invert the grep output, use the -v flag. The V option instructs grep to print all lines that do not contain or match the expression. So I think that was correct. I think what I did was correct, but for some reason, I didn't get what I expected. Okay, let's see. Maybe it's the way I did it, because there are two ways to use grep. So you can use grep as like the actual command and then give it what to grep, give it the file that you are grepping. So let's try it that way. Okay. So let's try it that way. Instead of piping it, maybe it was the pipe. We'll just use grep as a straight command. I don't know why it's giving me that. Is it the quotes? Or is it that every line has... Hold on 1 second, please. Okay, let's go to the top. It's correct. Oh, it's correct. It's correct. It's correct. Every line has been, at least in my case. It's correct. It's correct. These are the only lines that don't have been. Okay. That was just very strange to me. Okay. Every line has been. Bin stands for binary. Okay. Every line has been. See, every line has been. See bin here, see bin. Okay, all right. So that was correct. Okay. So let me go through it again. So I think even the former way I did it, this way with the grep -v, is correct. I was expecting to see at least 1 or 2 lines. Okay, all right. Okay, let's continue. If you have questions, just be asking. Okay, let's see. Letters only. This is number 18. Let me see how many. We're stopping at 3:45 my time. Let me see how many we have to go through. Okay, we still have quite a number. Okay, letters only, number 18. Display all the lines of this file starting with a letter. Include capital letters as well. Display all lines starting with a letter. So I'm just going to search that. Okay, because I don't know it. Okay, so I'm going to say bash lines display lines starting with letter. Okay, print line starting with string. That's not it really, but let's see what they say. Okay. Okay. Wow. Before I continue, what is this? Okay. Before I continue, let me see what one of you did, because this is actually quite advanced stuff. This is quite advanced stuff. Wow, this is okay. So we can grep. It's telling us that we can grep, and then we are using the start of, and then the file. Wow. Okay. I'll explain it, but I think this is pretty advanced. Maybe they expected you to read up on it before, but I will explain it. Okay. So this is the Etsy SSH. Okay, so let's see what that file looks like. Okay, this is advanced for beginners. Okay, Etsy SSHD config. Okay, so this is what. Okay, yeah, this is the authentication. Okay, yeah, this is the file that governs SSH authentication. Okay, so this is the file here. So it's asking only for you see how most of the lines in this file, my people, is starting with this hash. with this pound sign, okay? But if you scroll through, you will see some lines that don't have it in front, like this one, okay? You will see some lines that are starting with a letter. It's not starting with this pound sign, okay? Let me see if I can see another one. See one here, okay? So that's what it's asking for, okay? It's asking for those lines, all right? Okay, now I'll show you how to do it, but I feel like this is advanced, okay? So we are going to grep, okay? We're going to grep for something, okay? And sorry, we're going to grep for something and we're going to grep it in that file name. So I want to bring up that file name, okay? We're going to grep and that grep is going to act on this file, okay? Now, we need to create a pattern. I'm going to teach here because I don't want you to be confused, even though personally I feel like this is quite advanced, but it is okay. I will still teach it to you because like you have asked for understanding, right? So I will still teach it to you. Let me pull up my my drawing pad, okay? All right. So the answer, let me type the answer first so that you see it. The answer is caret sign. This is the symbol above number 6 on most keyboards, okay? So caret sign, and then A to Z or A to Z. Let me even see if this works. Just give me 1 second. Okay, it worked. Okay, I'm going to explain it. Okay, so that's the answer. Okay, we are grepping. This is what we are grepping for. We are grepping for caret, and then in this bracket, any letter between A and Z, lowercase, or any letter between A and Z, uppercase. Okay, and this caret means beginning with. Okay, this is what is called regular expression. And just for the record, I've been a developer. February made it 3 years that I've been a professional developer. I only started learning regular expression this year. Actually from last year. Okay, so late last year into this year. Okay, so that is that. So, you know, if you look at the question say display line starting with a letter and include capital letters as well. Okay, so regular expression is a way of matching content in different ways. Okay, matching content in different ways. So let's talk about it a little bit. Regular expressions is huge field, so I can't cover it in this session, but let's talk about it. Okay, you see this use PAM. Okay, use PAM. I'm going to copy it and I'm going to grep for that. Okay, so let's grep for that use PAM. Okay, I'm just going to grep for use PAM. Okay, and it gives me the line because this line contain use PAM. Okay, if I grep for yes, just the word yes, okay, it will return to me every line that has yes in it. Okay, every line that has yes. Every line that has yes, okay, it will return it to me. Okay, so even the lines that have the hash in front, as long as yes is in that line, it has returned it. You see how this yes is not at the end, it's in the middle, but because it's in the line, it will return it to me. Okay, what if I only want the lines that are ending in yes? Okay, so I don't want this line. This line, yes, is inside. Okay, this line here, yes, is inside it. I don't want that one. I only want the lines that word yes is at the end. Okay, to do that in regular expression is I might be wrong. Let me just try. that dollar symbol means ending with. Okay, the line is ending with what comes before the dollar symbol, which is yes. Okay, that dollar, if I just said yes, it will look for yes at any position in the line and bring it back. But by adding that dollar at the end, is what you're telling the server is only give me the line that end with yes. That's what that dollar stand for. Okay, that's what that dollar stand for. Now, what we saw before, the caret, is start with. Okay, so let me just 1 second. I just want to see what is in the file so that I can come up with a sensible. Okay, let me okay, I've seen something I can use. So let's say we are looking for lines that start with hash allow, because there were many entries there that have hash and then it has allow something. Okay, so if I just say hash, this is not a good example because it will it will give me I wish I can come up with a good example. Anyway, let me just do it. Okay, so this hash allow, okay, or if I say, no, it's not a good example. What I'm just trying to show you is like if I put the caret before the expression, okay, it's going to give me everything that starts with that hash and allow, every line that starts with it. Okay, now what we saw earlier, let me explain what we saw earlier, which was the answer. Okay, the answer, this is a regular expression that regular expression is tough. This is basically saying any single z lowercase or a to z uppercase, if it starts with any single letter, that's what this means. Okay, and the caret is what if it starts with. Okay, if it starts with, the caret means if it starts with any single letter. Okay, regular expression is a very big field, so I'm not going to say more than that. Okay, but that's how you answer that question, that number 18. Okay, let's continue. We have about 15 minutes left. Okay, so it's giving you, wow, this is a lot. Kudos to you for answering these questions. These are not easy questions. Okay, so A to Z, it says replace all characters capital A and C from input to capital Z and E respectively. Okay. Okay, so this is the input. Okay, all right, so this is the input. Okay, so this, I'm just copying the input. Okay, all right, so this is replace, like if I know, but if I didn't know, I would Google replace characters in bash. Okay, that's what I would Google. So I would Google and I would say replace characters in bash, if I can type. Okay, so so it says how to replace the character. This is 2020. Okay, this is 2019. I like Stack Exchange or Stack Overflow, because they have some good answers. So let's look at this one. Replace character X with character Y. Okay, so let's see how they are doing it. Okay, so this is a string and I want to replace. Okay, how can I do it? Okay, so there are so many ways. Okay, so echo. Okay, shell. No. Okay, this is okay. Did it say we can use sed? I hope so. Okay, because sed allows us to, this is, that is dash s. I've forgotten the meaning of all these things, but we'll go through it. Okay, all right, so we're going to use the sed command, and sed allows us to search for a character and then replace it with another character. And then the G just means global. It means everywhere. Okay? I think the S means substitute. So S substitute, and then you give it what to look for, and then you give it what to substitute, and then the G just means global. If you don't put that G, it will only do it for the first occurrence. Okay, so let's see that. It has been years that I use this. Okay, so let me I don't know how to do this. Let me see. Let me vim sentence. Okay, and let me put it in. Okay, I hope this works. Okay, and then if I say cat sentence and I say said, I think I need a single quote. Okay, and then it says A. Okay, so A has to be Z. Okay. If. Okay, so this was A, so you can see now it's Z. Okay. Okay. But there's a way to... I'm not sure how to do. I have to look it up, how to do it for multiple things. Okay, I'm just going to do it the way I know how to do it. But let me see if I cut sentence by itself. Has it changed it permanently? It hasn't. There's a way, there's something you pass in to make said permanent. Make said changes permanent. I know there's something. Okay, I think it's -I. Okay, let's try it and see. Okay. All right, so let's do what I did before, but I'm going to say -I. -I actually, if you don't put -I, it will make the change, but it won't save it. So that's a good thing. If you're using said, use said without -I so that you see what happens. And then if you're happy with it, then you use the -I to make it permanent. Okay, so if I say, so hold on one second. Before I use the -I, after I replace A to Z, I now want to also replace C to E globally. Okay. So you can see our C here is E. Our C here is E. Our C here is E. Characters. The A is now Z. And the C is now E. Okay. So this has done it. I'm not sure how to combine these two said commands. I have to look it up. But we know that this has done it as it should look. So we're happy with the result. So now we can use our, because we can use our -I, because if we cut sentence, you will see that sentence has not changed. Okay. It didn't change it. It just showed us what will happen. Okay. So now we can run the same command, but now we are going to put our -I to make it permanent. Okay. And then we say enter. Oh, really? It cannot be used with standard in. Okay. Okay. I will have to Google this error to figure out. Maybe it's not letting me do this because it's not in a script. Okay. Maybe that's why it's not in a script. It's a protective mechanism so that you don't make, mistakes that you can't come back from. Okay. But in general, that's kind of how you approach it. Okay. Anybody who asks me, what do you do all day? This is what I do. Solving issues like that. Okay. With Google and all of that. Okay. Let's continue. We have 10 more minutes. Without C. Okay. Create a script that removes all letters C, small c, and capital C from input. Okay, I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to do it. Okay, so bash remove letters from string. Okay, let's see. Remove characters from string in bash. Okay, let's see. Okay, and I hope it allows us to use sed. Okay, so let's see what they are saying. Okay, remove characters from string using sed. Okay, using sed, you can remove a specific character from a string. For example, to remove h from the string hello, how are you, the command would be, okay, this would only remove the first occurrence. Okay, to remove all occurrences from the string you use, okay, so it's just like sed with nothing. Okay, G stands for global. Okay, all right. To remove the first character. Okay, all right, so I think we've seen what we need to do. Okay, let me see, since it's asking me to remove two letters, let me say multiple letters. Let me see if it will give me multiple letters from string. Okay, said remove multiple characters. So let's look at that and see. Okay, so I would like to replace multiple characters. Okay, echo. Okay, this is very complex. Something simpler. Let's see. Okay, to get rid of these two characters. Okay, it says, okay, with said, we can do this. Okay, we put them in square brackets, it looks like. And then we are using pipe. Yes, okay. Thank you very much. It's forward slash. Okay, so you can put them in square brackets. Okay, so let's see what that looks like. Okay, all right. So the input is Chicago. Okay, so let me, if I echo Chicago, I get Chicago back. Okay, so let me echo Chicago, but I will pipe it through said, and it's going to be it's going to be S, and then in our square bracket we're going to put capital C and small c, and then we are replacing it with nothing. So replacing it with nothing means you are removing it. So I'm not going to put anything in that second space. Then I'm going to end with G. Okay, and I close the single quote. Aha, see, it has removed the C and it has removed the small c. Okay, so you would just put this, if you're writing your script, you know how you write the script, but this is essentially how you get it done. Okay, all right. I want to check something. I want to check if I wanted to replace, let me see if it will do it in order. If I wanted to replace big C with big A and small c, no, let me use another letter. Big C with big X and small c with small x. Let me see what that will do. Okay. It's not letting me, it's not expanding it. It's not expanding it. It's taking the two x's and replacing it. I just wanted to see if that will work. I guess not. Okay. All right, let's continue. 21. It says write a script that reverse is input. Okay. I'm going to put, these are things that you can do like with programming languages like JavaScript or Ruby, but I guess they want you to do it with Bash. So Bash reverse a string. Okay. All right, 2019, that's recent enough. Reverse a string. So I look at it, but I don't know how to do it. Okay. So we are given a string and we have to use a shell script. Why is it so? Isn't that just a simple command? Okay. Hey, see? Rev. Thank you very much. Just something straightforward. Maybe I didn't read it well. Okay. All right. So let's use my name, okay? Because it said input, whatever input. Okay. So if I echo arith, okay, I get arith. Okay. So if I echo arith and I pipe it into rev, which I believe stands for reverse, then it reverses it. Okay. So that's it. All right. But I didn't know, so I had to search it. Okay. All right. 22. DJ Cut Killer. Okay. Write a script that displays all users and their home directories. That displays all users and their home directories sorted by users. Okay. And we're taking it from Etsy password. Okay. 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 So the user and their home directory. Okay. So this is going to use so let's look at Etsy password. Okay. So cat Etsy password. Okay. Now in Etsy password, if you look, let me start up here. Let me start up here. Okay. So Etsy password, this is root user. Okay. So this is the username is root. And then you see this colon. This colon is what you call delimiter. Delimiter stands for the character that is separating data type in a file, or like a CSV, comma separated file. Delimiter just means, how do I know that I have finished one data type and I have moved to the next one? That's what delimiter means. Okay. So the delimiter in this file is a colon. You can have comma. Comma is actually one of the most popular delimiters, okay, in data. You have comma, you have pipe, this pipe that we have been using, you have pipe, you have tab, you have space. Single space can be a delimiter, okay? So a delimiter is a way for the server to know, okay, I have finished with one column and I'm starting a new column. Column 1 is over, column 2 has started. So column 1 here has root. Column 2 here has asterisk. Column 3 has 0. Column 4 has 0. Then column 5 has system administrator. You see? Because you see the colon here and the colon here is the delimiter. Okay? So that is column 5. And then column 6 has, this is their home directory, which is var root. I believe. Abi? I believe. Aha. And then you now have bin sh. I'm not sure what that column stands for. Okay. So what this script, maybe this is the last one we'll do. What this script is asking for is, we want to see their name, and we want to see, that is, we want to see the username. It didn't say username, but it said user and their home directory. So we want to see their username and their home directory. So the username is in column 1 and the directory is in column 6. Okay? All right. Now, I believe that there is a command. I believe it is cut command. Let me just check real quick. I believe it is cut command. Okay. Yes, it is cut command. Good. So cut command is a command that allows you to cut data from columns, but you have to tell it what the delimiter is. Because the delimiter is what lets the server know, okay, I've finished one column and this is the next column. Okay. So for this question, we know that our user is column 1. And let me just make sure again. I just want to be sure. So our user, if we count it, this is our username 1, 2, 3, 4, then this is 5, and then this is 6. Okay, good. So the data that we are looking for is in column 1 and 6. Okay, so we have, I'm going to cut that file, of course. Okay. So I'm going to cut Etsy password, but I'm going to, and you can do this in another way. I like to pipe because pipe lets me know, okay, what am I getting? What am I passing through? But you can start with cut. You can start with the cut command and then put the name of the file at the end. Okay, you can do that as well. So I'm going to cut Etsy password. I'm going to pipe it through the cut command. With cut command, you have to tell it the delimiter. Because if you don't tell it the delimiter, I believe the default delimiter is tab. So if I don't tell it the delimiter, it will use tab by default, and that file does not have any tab in it. Okay, so you have to tell it the delimiter by using -d. So -d stands for delimiter. Okay, then the next thing after -d, that is the delimiter you are telling it. So in our case, the delimiter is the colon. Okay, so after you tell it the delimiter, you now give it the column number that you want it to cut. And in our case, that is 1, 6. So we are telling it to cut 1, the first column, and the 6th column. Okay? So let's do that first. Before we even talk about sorting, let's do that first. Okay? So if we do, what did I do wrong? I made a mistake. Over here, I've given it I've given it the delimiter, but I also need to tell it the field. That F, I wish it was different anyway. That F, you have to give it, that is, how does it know what this 1 and 6 is? So that was my mistake. I have to tell it what 1 and 6 is. 1 and 6, I'm talking about the field, each the number, the number of the field. So that was my mistake. And if you do man cut, like you look up cut in the man pages, you can look at the usage, or you can search Google. You can just say how to use cut command. You can Google how to use cut command, and you probably see somebody has created a nice write-up. Okay, so let's put it. Okay, so you see that it has listed all my users. Let's go to the top. Okay, it has listed my username and that user's home directory, and it is using the delimiter that I gave it, which is the colon. Okay, which is the colon. All right, which is the colon. Okay, then it said we need to sorted by users. So then we will just pipe our results through the sort command. Okay, so this was our original command, but it was not sorted. So then we can pipe it now through sort. Okay, and I think by default, if you have a delimited file, like a file with delimiters, sort will take the first column by default and sort it by the first column. But you can tell sort which column to sort by if you need to. But in this case, because our first column is the users, and we are supposed to sort by users, so we don't have to. We can just use sort naked. Okay. So if we now look, what's happening here? I'll show you, because you say, why are these ones down here? But look at X is up here. Well, it has this underscore before the X. So it has sorted all the underscore usernames. It has sorted those ones alphabetically first because they are all starting with underscore. Okay. Now it has finished with the underscore usernames. It now went to the usernames without underscore and sorted those ones alphabetically as well. All right. Okay. That's where I have to pause for today. I hope this was helpful to those that tuned in. we're not able to get through the rest of them. Let me see how many we have. 23 and we have 24, 25. Okay, 25. Okay, so it's not so much left. Hopefully, with what we have covered, it helps you to understand the remaining questions. I hope this was helpful. If you have any more additional questions, please ask me in the Slack and I will do my best to answer them when I can. All right. I hope this was helpful. Thank you, everyone that tuned in, and have a wonderful weekend, everyone. Bye bye.